Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Garlick and I'm here with the Sheriff of Calhoun County, Matthew Wade, and this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Hello, Sheriff.
Always good to be on the show, John. I tell you what, fall weather's kicking in. And,
oh, yeah, it's nice.
Man, it's nice.
It's very nice. And you guys have been out even in the cold weather.
Yep, we got one arrest this week, brings our count to 5,214 people arrested, all because somebody was willing to help us, and this is a community effort. We do need your help in making our county and our towns a safer place.
And you know, talking about community, fall festivals, all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Absolutely, it's hard to believe. Thanksgiving's just right around the corner, but before we get to that, this weekend is Veterans Day, and that's a very dear to my heart. I am a veteran, but the Sheriff's Office itself will be participating in the Anniston's Veterans Day Parade, meaning both will be there. So
We're marching.
Yes.
Playing bagpipes.
That's right.
Woohoo.
So it's a good time to honor our veterans.
It's going to be a beautiful day here. The weather's going to be nice. It's going to be good bagpiping, kilt-wearing weather.
That's right.
Outstanding. So we hope to see you there in downtown Anniston. What time's that parade start?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, downtown Anniston Veterans Day Parade. But stay with us because we have the first half of the lineup and a very special guest here for you on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Our lineup this week brought to you by Abe's Ace Bail Bonds. Abe's Ace Bail Bonds located in Heflin and Cleburne County at 256-463-1824 and in Calhoun County 256-831-0074. First up this week, Michael Elder. Mr. Elder, last known to be living in Oxford. He's wanted possession of a controlled substance. Take a look at Justin Posey. Mr. Posey, last known to be living in Oxford. He's wanted for possession of a controlled substance. And this is Quintori Gladden. Mr. Gladden, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted for burglary third. And take a look at Savannah Ball. Miss Ball, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for theft of property first. And this is Christy Thompson. Miss Thompson, last known to be living in Ohatchee. She's wanted for burglary third. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup. You might know where they are. If you do, call Sheriff Matthew Wade. You call, he hauls. We are here with Sarah Woolmaker and Sabra Gossett, directors, assistant directors of the Anniston Museum Complex.
I knew you.
You knew me.
I did.
Okay.
You were at the business expo with a snake.
I was, yes.
Yeah, you don't forget
I
that.
had to go to jail with Burke, the rat corn snake hybrid. You did not like me that day.
I petted
you
him.
ran from me a bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
You looked very
bud,
timid.
I'm telling you.
But you did touch the snake, so I was proud of you for that. That was good. Yeah.
Small steps.
Yes, baby steps.
Very small steps.
Yes.
A bit. You said a bit, like your Canadian ancestry.
Oh, thank you.
You did.
Thank
a bit.
you.
A bit, eh?
It comes out every now and then.
It does. About
yes.
time.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Sarah, you are the assistant director.
Yes, for the Anniston Museums and Gardens.
Anniston Museums and Gardens. That's
Yes.
now the official name of what we used to call the Anniston Museum of Natural History.
It is not the official name of that.
Okay.
So we still have the Anniston Museum of Natural History.
Yes.
We have the Berman Museum, which is World History, and then we have our Longleaf Botanical Gardens. But our campus, or the umbrella name, will be the Anniston Museums and Gardens. So if you're on our property, you're on the Anniston Museums and Gardens.
And the property is how big?
Gosh, we are on 125 acres, so quite large, lots of forests,
Still
trails.
have the trails through the forest with the
Yeah.
trees all marked and all that good stuff?
We enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a nice break for the staff.
It is. You go walking in the woods and get lost?
Don't get lost. No,
Oh.
the trails are marked.
Oh, I could
We
get
don't want
lost
you to
in
get
the woods.
lost. Yeah.
I could get lost on a marked trail.
And we've recently done the bird of prey trail, some of the updates to the enclosures, and a full gravel trail now, so it's much more accessible and more comfortable to walk on. So you still have your natural trails with your roots and things if you do the nature trails next to Anniston Museum or up behind the event center, but the bird of prey trail is all gravel now.
You know, I've always wondered about the bird of prey trail. You've got the birds out there, right? Do they like stay out there 24/7?
They do, unless we have severe weather. So yes, they are federally protected and as well with the state, and so we have certain permits that allow us to have birds that need permanent placement. So we're not a rehabilitation center, but we do have permanent placement depending on the enclosure size and what the bird's needs are. So actually back in April, I think it was, we just secured a new, to us, red-shouldered hawk. Her name is Daisy, and she is in our new enclosure. She came from the Southeastern Raptor Center, so she was deemed non-releasable. She has some arthritis in her shoulder. She was injured, and she needed permanent home, so she came to us. And now she's making her way to become a program bird, so she's going to teach all of our pupils about our red-shouldered hawks.
So how do you become trained to be able to handle and deal with these birds of prey?
It's practice. It's a lot of observations, working side by side with somebody that has been doing it. We work with somebody that came from the Birmingham Zoo and is now with Camp Lee, and she was at Cheehaw, and has 15 years of experience now.
They call that falconeering?
Falconry.
Falconry?
This isn't falconry. It's a different type of falconry. Is when you have a raptor or a bird of prey to hunt with. These are just educational purposes or exhibit purposes.
Okay.
You should do that. You should become a falconer.
That would be pretty cool. I
And
know a
hunt with a
falconer.
falcon. You're a
could
big
be an
hunter.
apprentice. It'd be great.
You're a big hunter.
They're beautiful birds. When you see one like up close, you can see the power that
Yes.
they actually have. It's,
Yes.
it's pretty neat. So.
Daisy is red-shouldered, so she's quite petite, and her legs are smaller than my fingers. So she wants to be fierce. She just doesn't totally give that off yet. We're working on it.
Is that like Chicken
working on
Hawk or
it.
Chicken Little on the Looney Tunes?
Kind of. She gives off those vibes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's a good hawk, though.
Now, Sabra, you're in charge of what?
So I am over the collection primarily at the Berman Museum. So everything from when artifacts come in, to putting them on display, to taking care of them on a daily basis, loaning them out.
We
Loaning
loan
them out.
Calm down, Sheriff.
So the Berman Museum is, if you've never been to it, it is truly remarkable.
It is, absolutely.
The items that's in the Berman Museum, especially from the World War II era, and you see all those things. It's like that. This is in Calhoun County, but it is super, super interesting. And back in the, I think it's late, early 2000s, we helped move some items from Mr. Berman's home to the museum, and seeing some of those items, that is truly, truly remarkable.
It's a one-of-a-kind collection, honestly.
Absolutely.
Whatever happened to his Rolls Royce?
We don't
We don't
know.
know.
We don't know.
No, we
No.
believe that he probably sold them, the majority of them, towards the end of his life to pay for like medical bills.
Oh.
We're saddest that we don't have the one that he used for Diana and Charles's honeymoon.
Right,
So,
right. One of them that was bomb-proof.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That would
Very
really
cool.
just complete the collection.
It would have.
Rips my heart out.
It does. It's a very unique museum. I make sure anybody that's visiting from out of town that I take them through that. But the Natural History Museum is unique in a bunch of things, but they've got that very unique collection of birds, right?
Well, and also have reptiles.
We do.
So,
We do.
what was it? Bert?
Bert.
Bert.
Yes.
So I can remember Bert was a pretty snake.
Thank you.
And I know enough about snakes. I respect them,
Good.
and I'll leave them alone. But what scares me about snakes is because I am a hunter. I walk through the woods. I'm always scared that I'm going to step on one or come by one because they're so well camouflaged. So I do respect them. If I see them, I leave them alone.
A lot of the hunting is in the colder months, right?
Not always.
Oh,
Not
okay,
always. Like
okay.
turkey hunting is in the
No, that's
spring.
true, that's
and
true.
I have
They're
seen
waking up.
snakes out in December, and almost stepped on one in
It's going to
December
be
in Alabama.
80 degrees today, too, so they'll be right back out sunbathing and whatnot. You never know with Alabama
So what all
weather.
kind of snakes do you have actually that y'all have to take care of?
We have, I think, about 12 different species. So we have a venomous timber rattlesnake and a venomous copperhead that are on display. And the purpose of that is that you can see up close safely and maybe learn how to identify the venomous snakes. We do have 6 native venomous snakes in our state. About 4 would be in this region. And then, of course, we have the corn and rat snake on display, which are common to find, especially that rat snake. And then in
And
our
those
live
are good
animal
to have.
building. Yeah,
I
oh,
mean,
yeah.
You know, a lot of times people will kill them, and I'm like, look, those keep rodents in check. You know, especially like king snake is another good snake to have around.
Yeah, because they can eat your venomous snakes.
That's right.
Sure.
So, you know, I try my best to respect nature in that aspect and leave them alone. But
That's our goal. You know, we understand phobia is very real, and a lot of folks are very scared of snakes. And We're not asking you to befriend all of them. We'd actually prefer you not to befriend them and pick them up and take them home. We'd rather
That's
you
how you
leave them
get
out
bit.
there and be wild. But yeah, often people that are trying to kill them, that's when you get bitten by them. So if you can give them that distance and that respect, they'll go do their things.
Well,
You can
I
do
will
yours.
say this: when we were talking at the business expo, I asked you if that snake had ever bitten you. And you said this one has never bitten me.
No.
So that led to my next question that I didn't get to ask. It means you have been bitten by
Yes.
a snake. So yeah, I would just have a heart attack and fall over. It would just it would not be good. So.
No, you don't have a heart attack and fall over. It's okay. It's like a cat bite.
She always
If it's
says
non-venomous.
anything that has a mouth can bite.
Exactly. I could bite you right now.
Don't.
There's a
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
That is a crime.
I'm just saying.
We're
Anything
gonna
with
take
a
a
mouth.
We're going to take a break and talk more about getting bit. But first, we'll have the second half of the lineup here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Jonathan Stringer. Mr. Stringer, last known to be living in Oxford. He's wanted for possession of a controlled substance. And meet William Wilson. Mr. Wilson, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for trafficking in methamphetamines. Take a look at Katrina Phillips. Miss Phillips, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for possession of a controlled substance. And this is Luntez Burns. Mr. Burns, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for possession of marijuana first. And meet Kadisha Parker. Miss Parker, last known to be living in Alexandria. She's wanted for obstruction of justice by using a false ID. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you have any information on these folks, please call Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-833-251-7867. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup. You might know where they are. If you do, call Crime Stoppers, call the Sheriff's Office. You call, they haul. We are here with our friends from the Anniston Museum and Botanical Gardens. Yes. And we were talking about snakes. And we want to talk about snakes again, but you have an event coming up, and if we start talking about snakes,
Yes.
we won't talk about the event. So let's
Yes.
do the event.
Okay.
Okay.
So this weekend we have Winter Market, which is it's a fan favorite, a community favorite. Honestly, it's why we brought it back. So we had this phenomenal organization or volunteer group called the League, the Museum League, and they created Winter Market. And then our folks retired, and so we heard from our vendors and our community asking, "Hey, when's Winter Market coming back?" Last year we brought it back. We had a great response, and we've moved all the way up our hill to our Longleaf Event Center this year. So it is free to come and shop and browse. It'll be November 11th from 10 to 5 and November 12th from 1 to 5, so this Saturday and Sunday. And we have over 20 vendors coming, handcrafted artisans with things from jewelry to wood carvings, just an assortment of things. So we're really excited to support our small local businesses and provide something for our community to come and check out and maybe start your holiday shopping early.
Yeah, it's a great event.
It is.
Years ago, I went to that. I bought some really cool carvings from Africa.
I have some as well.
Yeah, and so it's all this week. There's a lot of stuff going on this
There's
weekend.
a lot this weekend, yeah.
But surely sometime between Saturday and Sunday,
Exactly.
people can get. I'm going on Sunday.
1 to 5, come and see
1 to
us.
5, it's
You
on
could
my
even,
calendar.
you could make a whole afternoon of it if you wanted. You could come and shop, and then you could get a passport ticket and visit the Berman Museum and the Anniston Museum of Natural History. You could see our new exhibit at both of our museums and play in our new kids' room.
So what's the new
See
exhibit?
Bert.
See Bert.
Yes.
What's the new exhibit?
The Golden Ratio. It's at the Anniston Museum of Natural History and the Berman Museum. We have changing galleries at both museums. And this one opened Friday. Yeah. And in the spring, we'll have the Longleaf Botanical Gardens version of it.
So what is the golden ratio?
So the golden ratio is essentially a mathematical formula that occurs in nature, but also is used in man-made objects. And basically, what its use leads to a pleasing aesthetic. It looks good to your eyes. You see it in nature, through plants, through the universe, through birds,
Hurricanes.
hurricanes.
Yeah.
But you also see it in the man-made things such as paintings and sculptures. Even military objects occasionally have it.
Are these the same as strange attractors that they were studying in physics many years ago?
I have no idea.
It's the golden ratio.
It's the golden ratio.
The
golden
Fibonacci
ratio.
sequence, yeah. So what's neat,
the
especially at the
Fibonacci
Berman,
sequence?
it's the Fibonacci
Yes.
sequence, yeah.
Okay.
So
That's
at the
interesting.
Berman Museum, Sabra worked heavily on that exhibit, and we have artwork or images or artifacts out, but then there's an image next to it that shows where one Fibonacci spiral is actually portrayed in that artifact or on that artifact. And what we were talking about before the show is how we've shown you one, but if you continue to look at that, whatever it may be, an artifact or a painting, we even have an image of the Mona Lisa out to show how she reflects the golden ratio. But we have it drawn out, but there's additional, a lot of times within the artwork. And then at natural, we have like a pangolin. You guys know what a pangolin is, right? So when they curl up into their ball, they create the Fibonacci sequence. It's a spiral there. So it's interesting. Once you find it, once you see it, you start noticing it in all these other areas. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite comments that our members made was, now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it, and I'm constantly looking for it now as I move through, whether I'm outside or items that I have in my house. So it's cool.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
It's math, but it's fun math.
It's math, but it's math that everything that's natural can be broken down to a mathematical formula.
Which is wild.
So you wouldn't think that would be the case.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
So
almost speaks to divine intervention, doesn't it?
our executive director, Alan Robinson, when he came on board, he has always been talking to us for years about the Fibonacci sequence, how he really wanted to do an exhibit about the golden ratio. And we were thinking, okay, well, why? What's your reasoning behind it? And he said, when you look at our campus, again, we have Anniston Museum of Natural History, Berman Museum, and Longleaf Botanical Gardens. How are we all connected? And one way is through the golden ratio, how all those things interconnect, whether it's the man-made world, through arts and architecture, or if it's through nature, whether it be the spiral horns of a markhor or the aloe plant, the way that it grows.
That's incredible.
Right?
Okay, so we do want to get back to the snake thing.
Okay.
Because you were talking about snake training
Yes.
in law enforcement.
Yes.
And that was a fascinating conversation, so that was all offline, so let's bring it back online.
And I'll start, we had a deputy, Caleb Burt, Sergeant Burt, went to training to learn how to handle venomous snakes. We get calls on occasion where somebody calls and says there's a snake around their house or in their house, and they expect us to do something about it. So we sent him to training for that. And and I'm glad we have him.
Yeah, I'm excited to have somebody so interested in our reptiles on the Sheriff's Department too, because you don't always get that. So it's nice to have it on your team.
Sure.
So that training was done at the museum.
It was.
Yeah.
There's two gentlemen, Jimmy Stiles, who is with Auburn University. He's huge in the environmental world. Brilliant guy, brilliant biologist. And then you have Raymond Corey, who is the leader of our Alabama Herpetological Society. So if you've ever been to our Herp Fest before in the summer, he always comes and brings a great display of live reptiles for you to learn and learn to identify especially. But these two guys identified that there's no training for venomous snakes. A lot of our environmentalists have just learned on the job, through watching somebody who did it before. And now they've created a training, and it was specifically created because they thought, how do we help our first responders in these situations? How do they identify a venomous snake bite versus just a snake bite or anything else? What do we do? How do we handle it? How do we get them safely to the hospital? Where do we know who has antivenom or anything like that? And then how do you get the snake out of the situation? So you don't use your hands, you use hooks, and it's all about the mechanics of how you safely move the snake out so that nobody else gets hurt.
Excellent training.
And we do offer that. Somebody needs somebody with a snake, we can help them out.
And so we thank you for being on the show. We got to take a break now, and appreciate you being down here. Don't forget the event this weekend.
Winter Market.
And Winter Market at the museum Saturday and Sunday. And we'll be right back with our Crazy Criminal and Crime Stoppers portion of our show here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Welcome to this edition of Crime Stoppers. First up in our caseload this week, on October 24th, an unknown person or persons attempted to burglarize a residence on Hollingsworth Drive in Wellington. And sometime on October 22nd, an unknown person or persons burglarized the Oxford Waterworks on Airport Road in Oxford. A demo saw generator and 2 hand trucks were stolen from that location. And on October 23rd, an unknown person or persons broke into the vending machine outside of a food outlet in Alexandria, and they stole the change box. And that's it for the cases this week. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers. That number 1-833-251-7867.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Do you know what time it is?
It's the crazy criminal time that
Crazy
never.
criminal.
That's right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Whoa.
All right, Coweta, Georgia. This is Eric Swanginger. If I can say it right.
Swaringer? Swaringer?
Swanger.
Yeah, that guy.
Well, this is his neighbor's porch that he actually stole. So he's been labeled the Georgia porch pirate, and so he actually didn't steal items from the porch. He stole the entire porch, and that's the porch that he stole right there. He pulled in and just took the whole thing with him.
Interesting.
Interesting. So I guess he was in need of his own porch or needed lumber, but he was also arrested for domestic violence soon after this. So it might have been when his wife found out what he did, and when you get put on the news as a porch pirate, that probably doesn't make your spouse very happy.
You know, I'd hate to be the guy who had that porch. He walks out his back door and whoops.
Yeah.
Probably jokingly said, honey, who stole the porch?
Yeah.
Like, somebody did.
That's
the
right.
Swaringer guy.
The Swearinger guy.
Oh my goodness. So you said you were almost hired up at the jail.
We are. We're getting our spots filled, and we're getting close. Still have a couple of deputy spots and correction spots and dispatchers, but we're getting close to being full. But we're still looking for some people that want to be difference makers and want to do something for their community. Come do something that matters.
Dispatch is a fun job for folks. I
It
mean,
is.
They're actually the first one on the scene, but you're on the radios, on the phone. It's busy, isn't it?
It's very busy, and I tell people all the time, if you're a nosy person, like to know what's going on, dispatching is for you.
You get to know what's going on with
That's
all the
right.
deputies too.
That's right.
Get all the dirt.
That's right.
So if people are interested in applying for a job,
They can always call us on the phone. They can go to our website and download an application, or they can contact us through our Facebook page. So we do social media. We do this plain old-fashioned phone call as well. So come see us. Get in touch with us. We'd be glad to talk with you and see if you're a good fit for us.
be a difference maker. And tune in next week here on Calhoun County Most Wanted. We hope you see you then and not in the lineup.